Well, it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, baby, if and you don't know by now. And it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, baby, it'll never do somehow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm a traveling on. But don't think twice, it's alright. Alright, do your own harmonica solo. And it ain't no use in a turning on your light, babe. The light I never know. And it ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. I'm on the dark side of the road. But I wish there was something you would do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. We never did too much talking anyway. Don't think twice, it's alright. No, it ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, like you never done before. And it ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, I can't hear you anymore. I'm a thinking and a wondering, walking down the road. I once loved a woman, a child I'm told. I gave her my heart, but she wanted my soul. Don't think twice, it's alright. Hey, okay, here's the final verse. Prepare yourself, get a box of Kleenex. It's one of the saddest lines in all of musicdom. You're about to hear it. So long, honey babe, where I'm bound, I can't tell. But goodbye's too good a word, babe. So I'll just say fare thee well. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kind of wasted my precious time. Don't think twice, it's alright. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kind of wasted my precious time. Don't think twice, it's alright. Oh, madame, that's the real kicker. I swear to God, if there was one single line, if there was one lyric, I don't know why, but if there was one lyric that really gets me, that I think, I don't know, greatest lyric of that whole singer-songwriter era of the 60s and 70s, but I don't know how to categorize it, but it just, to me, it's the pinnacle when he says, I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kind of wasted my precious time. Don't think twice. It's all that line. You just kind of wasted my precious time. Madon. Hey Z, what's up, Honolulu, or somewhere in Hawaii? Thank you for joining. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ethan. This is the No Show for Friday evening, whatever the date is. It's like the 26th or something. Yeah, I think it's the 27th. I don't know. Moral of the song, says Mobius. Don't let other people waste your precious time. Okay, that's one very good takeaway. Excuse me, from the snort. That was a little bit impolite. Neuro Geezer commented earlier while I was going through it. Makes a very good point that this singer, Dylan, he says Dylan gives his lover a lot of power in this song. Yeah, and yet he's walking away. So I don't know. He's taken the power in his actions, but yeah. It's very different than the Elvis thing we were looking at. Sorry. I'm allergic. I'm allergic to breakups. I don't know what that was. Beatrice. Hello, Beatrice. Great to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you to everyone for joining. He walks away and blames her for it. That's not taking power. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's a good point. So he walks away, but he blames her. All right. There's also other things to consider in this song, which is the woman has a rooster. So we know we're in a setting where people can have roosters. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You know what this reminds me of? When I was a little kid, one of the first albums I listened to was, I think, was it Sgt. Pepper? Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. And it's that song, She's Leaving Home. She gave her all of her money, 'cause she's leaving home after living alone for so many years. It's a song, it's a sad, a song of departure. I know I'm leaning away. But now that I'm in widescreen, I'm not off screen, so I'm just blowing my nose on screen. So, perdonami. I'm sorry for that. That's a little gross, but it also reminds me. One of the first times I remember going to see a play on Broadway when I was a kid. When I was in high school, it was called Joe Egg. Joe Egg, and it was. I think it's a dad who's deciding to leave. He has a family and a child with, I think, with some severe developmental challenges. I don't know what that was about an empty theater. It's not an empty theater, but it creates the illusion of emptiness. You're in a full theater, but you see this person on stage all alone, and the house is quiet. It's in the morning. I think in the end, the bag is packed. Spoiler alert, if you're going to see Joe Egg, the play came out 40 years ago, but if you're going to see it, here comes a spoiler alert. Turn off the volume for a minute while I say what happens. I mean, this is what I remember. It was 40 years ago, but he does this, what seems like a cowardly, horrible thing, which is he just leaves. He leaves without telling them he's leaving. But I remember the impact of that thing of leaving and being alone and walking away. I think someone suggested on this show also Winterreise. So that song cycle by Schubert, the Winterreise, the winter journey. Also, you have this character, the singer, just walking through this winter landscape all alone, thinking about the girl that he couldn't successfully woo. I think there's a lot of that. He went a wooing. When you go a wooing, you got to know, when you go wooing, there's a chance you're not going to woo successfully. So, you're wooing. When you woo, it could end in a woo-hoo or a woo-hoo if you woo successfully. But if you woo and it doesn't go well for you, you could end up with a boo-hoo. So your woo could end up with a woo-hoo or a boo-hoo. And that's just important to keep in mind. Oh, Mobius says, my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. Yeah, that's John Denver. That, of course, that's an amazing one. Okay, I found this song today when I was looking. Oh, I don't know Ric Flair, who loves to woo. All right, this song deserves more of my attention before I share it before I attempt to share it with you. But it's so cute. I want to give it a whirl. I'm going to give it a whirl. Let's just think of this as a whirl. Isn't she a beauty? Isn't she a queen? Nicest bridge that I have ever seen. Isn't she a beauty? Isn't she a queen? Nicest bridge that I have ever seen. Her paint's a little tattered, where age has left its touch. Still, I guess I'll always love her very much. Like the folks, like the folks you meet on, like to plant my feet on the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm not going to do it. It's too, I want to do it correctly. All right, the cat's out of the bag. There's a song called Brooklyn Bridge in the book by Sammy Kahn. The book of songs by Sammy Kahn, which I was looking at the other day. Like the folks you meet on, like to plant my feet on the Brooklyn Bridge. What a lovely view from heaven looks at you from the Brooklyn Bridge. There's some great funny lyrics. Okay, I got to work on this one in my life. Yeah, that's a great song. Okay. Don't let no one tell you I've been trying to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. Holy smokes, I'm having one of these allergy things. Gosh darn it. I haven't had it in months during the show, but what am I going to do? What are you going to do? That's what happens. It's live. Maybe I'll go this way. Wow, came out of nowhere. Ba, ba, da, ba, da, ba. Hey, Vicky Raphael. Vicky Raphael says Topo Chico is her favorite water. All right, I like it. I'm a fan. Z, if you recommend the right Megadeth song, I'm going to perform it. I'll have to put my own non-heavy metal spin on it because I'm not a heavy metal guy. Oof. I prepared a yellow t-shirt under my yellow sweater. The seasons are very weird right now. It was like summery today, and now it's wintry outside. My. All right, there goes my plans. My plans are out. I could play Holy Wars, the punishment due. Oh, I don't know Holy Wars, Donald. I'd like to hear it. Oh, what did I want to show you? I had a little show and tell. Please check out Pigment Workroom. The Pigment Workroom is a very cool place in Puglia, in the south of Italy. My friend Mario, it's his place, Pigment Workroom, and I have a few of his works of art now on my wall over the years, and I have I've gotten them framed now, so it's out of reach though. It's right over there. It's just out. I didn't plan on doing a show and tell. I didn't plan on starting to sneeze and my Brooklyn Bridge song just going out the window. Da da dee da 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 dee da da da. The Brooklyn Bridge. I'm gonna just try the very ending where it's a very cute lyric. Folks in Manhattan are sad 'cause they look at her and wish they had the good old Brooklyn Bridge. Folks in Manhattan are sad, 'cause they look at her and wish they had the good old Brooklyn Bridge. You know, the lyric is very cute, but I realize it doesn't make sense. Folks in Manhattan are sad, 'cause they look at you. I mean, they look at the Brooklyn Bridge and they say, we don't have you. But they have, the Brooklyn Bridge goes between Brooklyn and Manhattan. So Manhattan has the Brooklyn Bridge also. So Sammy Kahn, genius, very funny. But that lyric, I have a little bit of a quibble with it. I do have a little Burt Bacharach. I do have a Burt Bacharach. Yeah, I had this nice yellow sweater. I thought I was done with sweaters for the winter, but this one's nice and yellow. So I thought, what am I going to put on under it? It should be yellow. I don't normally spend a lot of time on color coordination, but yes, Richard, when I was putting it on, I also thought of Yellow Submarine. And I also thought of there's that great Coldplay song, Yellow. I had to look at that. Ba da 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 dee da 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 da. The good old Brooklyn Bridge. Let me see if I have any Bacharach. You know, the power of denial is very important in life, and it's getting more and more important. Oh, interesting. Yeah, is. Yes, the Manhattan Bridge. You point that out. The Manhattan Bridge, also shared by Brooklyn and Manhattan. So the Brooklyn Bridge is shared by those two. The Manhattan Bridge is shared by those two. And so, yeah. The power of denial. So the reason this comes to mind is because I don't really talk politics on this show. Occasionally I dip a toe into it, but it's like at this point it's like a fish talking about the water. It's just all around us. At least that's how I'm experiencing the world right now. What's going on is so horrific. Right down to all this business with the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court really just destroying, I guess, for me, destroying the feeling that there's justice and that the court is reasonable and respects precedent, and also the idea that the court should reject cases that are obviously ridiculous and obviously contrary to the spirit of the Constitution and the history of the country. The idea that they're wasting time right now on this idea that the president should just have immunity and be able to live like a king, it's outrageous, it's troubling, it's grotesque. It just seems so wrong-headed. So denial becomes important, and I'm here to help you with a little bit of denial. It's an escape. That's what the show is doing in my idea about what the show is. I just didn't want to do a political show. There's so much out there that's already covering the horror show. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the Bacharach song is. I have one in here. I can't think of what the song is, but I know that the song is about just how beautiful someone is. You ever have that when you're trying to remember something? You can't remember the words. You can remember a sort of color about it, or you can remember a kind of shape or a feeling. That's my memory of which Bacharach song is in here. I feel like it's just something about how beautiful someone is or something is. This song I did, thank you, Dawn. It's an escape. Yeah, that's the idea. Z, I appreciate you and your comments. Some of your references tonight, I'm just not getting them, so that's all. Like when you say you still listen to Pantera, I kind of don't really know what that means. I know Pantera is a band, but I couldn't tell you anything more about it. Burrito. I can't remember what the burrito were. I left my heart in San Francisco. This is a Pantera song, I think. Or is this Metallica? I left my heart in San Francisco, high on a hill. It calls to me to be where little cable cars climb halfway to the stars. The morning fog may chill the air. I don't care. My love waits there in San Francisco, above the blue and windy sea. When I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine for me. It kind of surprised me when I came around the bend there towards the end. This is a song that, in this key, that requires a little more, let's say, a little more vocal heft for me to really do it justice. Let me try that again. My love waits there in San Francisco, above the blue and windy sea. When I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine for me. Almost. I got to keep letting it rip at the end there. Your golden sun will shine for me. Anyway, I've really been enjoying just kind of crooning on this show, crooning my way through this repertoire. And so it just feels funny now to let it rip a little bit. It's a whole nother gear. It's like jogging and then deciding to sprint a little bit. Anyway, that's San Francisco. I was thinking how much I loved that city, how beautiful that city is. I haven't been there in forever. Oh, here's a nice tune. Oh, the flowers in your hair. That's a good one. That's funny. Dave in LA says, okay, I sang San Francisco, now sing Cleveland. Now do Cleveland. Okay. Is that a song? There must be a song. If you're going to San Francisco, Be sure to wear flowers in your hair if you're going to San Francisco. Z asks, you ever been to Jawbone, Kentucky? Haven't. I'm trying to remember if I've ever been to Kentucky at all. I think I was in Kentucky in 2019. Um, I went to a riverboat casino to do a comedy thing. And so I was in Ohio, but the riverboat was the casino I think was right over the river in Kentucky. So I guess I've been to Kentucky. Um, Frankfort, that's exactly right. That's where it was. Frankfort, Kentucky. I think that's right. It was the World Series of Comedy in 2019, I think. And I'm sorry to keep bringing up the horrors that we're trying to escape in the world, but it was the week of the confirmation hearings for the beer swilling, date raping member of the Supreme Court. I guess I'm supposed to say alleged date raping, but the testimony from that high school classmate of his was obviously true. So if I'm the judge of it, I guess we have to say alleged, but obviously, yeah. So that guy who's now actually on the Supreme Court, it's so horrific that that guy is on the Supreme Court, and to have to hear his voice after having heard his insane confirmation hearing, where he was talking about his drinking, and then they showed his calendar, and I remember they didn't even ask him about the fact that, yeah, some of the stuff on his calendar, it was so obvious that that his victim was telling the truth. Anyway, so to hear him then, and you're supposed to then put all that aside and just listen and consider that that's a reasonable person to sit in judgment in the highest court, it's a travesty. It's a shanda. It's a shanda. It's a disgrace. That's the word. It's a disgrace. We're living in disgraceful times in this country. In a lot of ways. That court. Yikes. When I fall in love, it'll be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses. You know, I think that's called prosody, the way the word sits in the rhythm of the measure. And that always bugs me in that song. It says, and too many moonlight kisses. It's too many. It's not too many. It's not too many. It's too many. Like, there are too many of them. But the way it sits in the measure, it sounds like the other meaning. And too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too is when I fall in love with you. All right. right, that's a beautiful song. Words by Edward Heyman. Edward Heyman, music by Victor Young. What 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 movie was that from? I don't know. I don't know. You can change the melody. Hold on to 2 just to feel that way too. Is when I fall in love. Yeah, I think Nat King Cole does what you're suggesting there, Neurogeezer. At the ending, holding on to 2 a little longer. And the moment I can feel that, you feel that way too, is when I fall in love with you. Yeah, that's a nice idea. Thank you. Yeah, you can hold the word "to" all the way to the end of the measure and beyond. Oh, Z, thank you. Sorry for my snorting, my allergies. Z asks, when did you become a music lover? What was the first album you bought? Okay, I remember the first album I got was the Bay City Rollers, Saturday Night, and also Foreigner, Hot Blooded, Check It and See. Got a fever of 103. That's a high fever, by the way. You should go to the emergency room. Oh, you're saying, and too many moonlight kisses. Oh, I see. To solve the problem I was talking about with the prosody. Yeah, I don't know if that solves it. And too many moonlight kisses. Anyway, it's not really a problem. It's just a little bugaboo. And then when did I become a music lover? Good. I think it was the Elvis thing I was talking about. I've said it on the show before. My parents had an 8-track player. They had Elvis's greatest hits. I would just sit there listening to it over and over again. So, yeah. I think Elvis made me a music lover, I'd say. Oh, that's a great song. Steve Miller, the Joker. All right. I'll be loving you always with a love that's true always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Blah, 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 always. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's a sad song as the outro. That's when I'll be there always. Not just for an hour, not just for a day, not just for a year, but always. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. That was the no-show for tonight. I'm going to head over to Instagram just for a quick little Mo show. Thanks for joining. Love the interactions, love the feedback. I dig all your company, and I dig you all for being here. Thank you so much. Please share the show if you dig it. Please share it, and yeah. Thank you very much. Have a great night.